Tonight on News 5, an escape in Barton Creek ends in tragedy for a young couple in Unitedville. And in Belize City, an ambush in a quiet neighborhood leaves a well-known handyman, Tiny, dead. Plus new developments in the Belmopan double murder, a teenager now charged as police widen their investigation. Across the northern border, growing unrest in Mexico as authorities scramble to control the violent fallout following El Mencho's death. And at home, political friction rises as independent parliamentarians push back, forcing a virtual Senate meeting to be scrapped. The news starts right now. Stay with us.
Past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Thanks for joining us. What began as a simple Saturday getaway to Barton Creek ended in tragedy, leaving two families searching for answers. 20-year-old Manuela Vanegas and 23-year-old Jermaine Jerrington Ingram were returning to Unitedville after an afternoon by the water when gunmen ambushed them, cutting their lives short in an instant. Tonight, heartbreak is giving way to hard questions. Ingram's loved ones believe he was deliberately targeted, while Vanegas' family says she was an innocent bystander who never saw danger coming. News 5's Paul Lopez headed west to speak to both families. Here's what he found.
A Saturday hangout along Barton Creek ended in tragedy when 20-year-old Manuela Vanegas and 23-year-old Jerrington Ingram were gunned down on their walk back into Unitedville. The pair had spent the afternoon cooling off by the creek with two others, but about 15 minutes into their hike home, a gunman waited near the bridge and opened fire, killing them on the spot.
Preliminary investigation suggests that the victims may have returned from swimming at a nearby creek when they were accosted. The area has been canvassed with a view to identifying potential witnesses and also to obtaining video footage, which we hope would be of assistance to the investigation.
Vanegas' brother told News 5 his sister had only come to Unitedville for a quick visit with her cousin. And in a tragic twist, she and Ingram had only started seeing each other about 3 weeks ago.
Basically, to our understanding is that when she was coming up from the creek around the time of 4 to 5, they were all coming together, but my cousin left ahead, right? And it was the gentleman that died along with her, and they were, at the back, coming up and so forth. And to our understanding was that after my cousin left, they heard 7 gunshots. They ran back. They saw 2 bodies on the ground and they ran home to call somebody to get some assistance. But that's as much detail as we got from them.
In terms of the relation between your sister and Mr. Ingram, what do you understand there?
So firstly, we thought it was a friendship, but to our understanding is that they were seeing each other. They were starting out as a little boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. That's as much as we know from there. We didn't know if they were actually together.
Family members say Vanegas met Ingram through her cousin and insist she wasn't the target, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Meanwhile, talk in the village hints that Ingram's past may have put him at risk, but his sister rejects that claim, saying men in the area openly threatened to kill him.
He was, and I'm certain he was the intended target. The female, his girlfriend, innocent soul, get taken away because he made associate with my brother. Jerrington wasn't a gang child. Jerrington wasn't a problem child. Anybody know him personally? No, a quiet child. But he was the intended target. Threats was made. Threats was sent. 2 weeks prior.
Jerrington's sister says a brawl at the community center weeks ago sparked rumors that he was involved, rumors the family denies. But they claim one relative of the men in that fight vowed revenge and named Jerrington as a target, and despite their repeated warnings, police never stepped in.
These set of kids are being protected by the police. These set of kids are being protected by San Ignacio police. Whatever bond they have with San Ignacio police, nothing will be happening. I am telling you this. I know I listen back to this how many years. Nothing come out of this. Nothing. My brother want dead, done dead, rotten, and the only boy want kill, and kill. Because they want walk free. They want walk free. They are police, not listen.
Tonight, 2 families are grieving, one saying their son's death could have been prevented, and the other mourning a young woman who was killed simply because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
To be honest, my sister doesn't have no criminal past. She doesn't have no type of bad blood with anyone. So the only thing we could, to our understanding, is that it's just somebody else's past came back at them and she was just there at the wrong time. She was quite charismatic, she was kind-hearted. She was outspoken. She loved to state her opinions,
The families of Manuela Vanegas and Jerrington Ingram are left with unanswered questions and a deep sense of injustice. Authorities are yet to establish a motive. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
43-year-old Marlon Tiny Usher lost his life in a stabbing on Sunday night, a confrontation his family believes spiraled out of accusations over a woman. And tonight they're grieving a hard-working son and provider taken far too soon. News 5's Shane Williams has the story.
Grief now fills the Usher family yard after 43-year-old Marlon Usher was stabbed to death Sunday night outside his usual hangout spot on Doris Brooks Crescent. Trouble had been brewing since Friday when a friend confronted him over accusations involving a woman. Neighbors thought the argument had cooled, but it flared back up when the same man returned on Sunday with a knife and attacked. Usher collapsed in the yard and died on the way to the Carl Huschner Memorial Hospital, leaving his mother, Brenda Usher, devastated.
how they kill my little boy with the one hard working boy. We work every day. They kill my little boy for a woman, but I know the call name. But I don't know if that, but that's a part of it.
Brenda Usher is still recovering from a stroke, but now she's facing an even heavier burden. Finding the strength to bury her son, the premature baby she once nicknamed Tiny, who grew into a kind, hard-working man she say never looked for trouble.
He's a nice person. He will laugh, he not like the clown and give the jokes. Yes, he a guy to laugh. I'll do your back sometime with her. I'll do a back sometime with her and I'll reel up in her. For left floor and woman. To find oneself one good girl we want you and you want her. And I never done tell her make her then separate. And I tell the girl too. I tell her left loan my son because a little boy want kill my son because a little boy that want murderer. I'm afraid to say it. Yes.
And now you have to bury your son and you are recovering from a stroke. How will you deal with this?
I don't have no kind of thing to save money to bury my son, so I would want to ask the public or anybody who want to help me.
Police are looking for one suspect as they investigate this fatal stabbing.
Police are seeking one male person in connection with the fatal stabbing of 43-year-old Marlon Usher, which occurred around 9:15 p.m. on Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. What we know so far in the course of this investigation is that Usher was walking on Doris Brook Street when he was accosted by the suspect who inflicted the fatal injuries to him.
Any motive?
No clear motive has been established so far.
Is it believed that the deceased may have known the person who attacked him?
That is the indication.
Is there a report that there was a previous altercation between the two before this fatal incident?
Not to my knowledge.
Is the deceased known to police?
I believe he is known to police in some vague sense.
Through tears, she says the accused is someone who grew up around her family, a painful reality that makes the loss even harder to understand.
I know the person good, the person grew up with them. With my children, then a person grew up with them, come up with them. And that person, I could call his name because that killed my son. But one thing I got to tell me, he was doing his own traps. He go in his own traps, we not doing nothing. He go and mess with the wrong person and that one will happen. Because when you do bad, bad follow you.
Neighbors along Arlington Drive and Doris Brooks Crescent say Marlon Usher was the go-to handyman who never hesitated to help with a job. But tonight he leaves behind a young daughter and a mother recovering from a stroke who now has to plan his funeral. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Another bold shooting in Belize City has once again put Jareem Stain at the center of a string of automatic weapon attacks. And tonight, those repeated brushes with death are raising fresh questions about public safety and the risk to innocent bystanders. News 5's Shane Williams looks at Stain's latest close call.
Jareem Stain, also known as 32, is a prominent street figure and the center of several violent cases. But what worries police even more is a string of public shootings swirling around him. On September 3, 2025, just minutes after walking out of the magistrate's court, gunmen opened fire on him along Busy Coney Drive near Buttonwood Bay Nazarene Primary School, spraying nearly 36 shots as residents and school children dove for cover. Stain drove away from this incident unharmed. And less than a month later, chaos erupted again, this time on the Philip Golson Highway, where gunmen chased down Stain's vehicle and unleashed a barrage of shots that sent commuters scrambling and wounded 2 BDF soldiers before the shootout ended near a busy call center and Horizon Academy. Police have since charged 2 men with attempted murder in this case. And even with multiple attempts on his life and repeated warnings from police, Stain was back out on bail, this time on charges tied to contempt of court and alleged gang activity, even as he stands accused in the attempted murder of rival Jimmy Rojas. a reminder that his presence in public has sparked violent retaliation before. And just days after walking free on bail, gunfire erupted again, this time on a public basketball court in Lake Independence, where automatic weapons sprayed the area, hitting Jareem Stain and 3 other young men as bystanders ducked and scattered. All 4 were rushed to the hospital and are now in a stable condition.
What we have learned so far, and I must say that the incident was captured on police surveillance camera, is that those 4 mere persons, along with others, were on the bleachers in front of the basketball court when a male person emerged from behind the bleachers and went onto the court and fired several shots, which resulted in the aforementioned injuries. The surveillance camera and the footage therefrom is being meticulously scrutinized with a view of apprehending these assailant or this assailant.
Is there anything the police can do to prevent him from being at public events, individuals like these who are hot targets?
I know that the conditions of his bail included that he ought not to be in certain places around certain time. However, certainly when that matter will be addressed, which I anticipate it will be at the High Court, it will certainly be for more stringent provisions to be placed. You would also know that he was recently released, I believe, on 11th of February. And it was just, I think, a few days after that that he was once again arrested for being in breach of his bail conditions. The prosecutor objected to bail. He changed his plea to guilty, and he was fined, and that was the reason that he was out on the street. However, as I stated, we're in the process of having the necessary documents be placed before the High Court to address the matter in that venue.
And what's fueling even more outrage tonight is that every one of these shootings, from Coney Drive to the highway to a neighborhood basketball court packed with kids, has unfolded in public spaces where families go about their daily lives. Should the courts, police, and lawmakers rethink how they deal with high-risk suspects to keep the public safer? Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Police in Belmopan say they've made a major breakthrough in last week's shocking double murder, announcing charges against the man they believe pulled the trigger. 19-year-old Jahan Flores is now accused of killing Zamar Alvarez and Calvert Westby Jr., a crime that rattled the quiet capital and amplified fears about rising gun violence. Investigators say the case quickly gained momentum over the weekend, leading to 2 formal murder charges. Here's what police uncovered.
As a consequence of the ongoing investigation into the double murder of Zamar Alvarez and Calvert Westby Jr., which occurred on Friday, 13 February 2026 in Belmopan City, police have formally arrested and charged 19-year-old Jahan Flores for 2 counts of murder.
I guess there will be further arrests. The investigation does continue into that matter.
Yes, the investigation is ongoing. What I can say is that the arrested person is someone who was familiar with both of the deceased.
Police made progress this weekend on 2 major cases, starting in Belmopan, where investigators secured a breakthrough arrest in last week's double murder, and continuing in Belize City, where a late-night gun attack on Corozal Street left 1 man hospitalized and investigators reviewing surveillance footage for answers. Tonight, they're still trying to pin down a motive. Here's what police had to say.
The investigation commenced on Saturday, 21st February at around 8 o'clock p.m. when officers on patrol in the Precinct 1 area were alerted to the sounds of shots being fired in the vicinity of Corozal Street, Belize City. The officers were advised of the specific location of the incident, and upon the arrival of these officers, they witnessed Mr. Dawson, Damon Dawson, who was suffering an apparent gunshot wound to the body. Mr. Dawson was ferried to the hospital, where he is listed in a stable condition, and the scene was processed. Similarly, this incident was captured on police camera, and those footages are now being reviewed with a view to advancing the ongoing investigation. No motive has been established in this shooting.
Police say they're analyzing the video closely as they try to uncover who fired the shot and what led up to it. What should have been a routine court appearance in a southern murder case turned into a brief stopover in Belize City today for 33-year-old Ellis Main. With no magistrate currently sitting in Independence, Main was brought to the Belize City Magistrates Court, where he arrived around 9 this morning and waited more than 2 hours before being escorted into a courtroom. Inside, the chief magistrate handed over a hefty package of evidence, 181 pages and 22 original photographs, telling Main that this is the full disclosure in the murder case he faces. His attorney, Abibi Mogale of the Lyndon Jones law firm, stood beside him as the court set his next date, April 8, 2026, when he'll return to the Independence Magistrates Court for his preliminary inquiry. Main's legal troubles stretched back to September 12, 2025, when he was deported from the U.S. and immediately arraigned in Belize City. He's accused of murdering Roy Lee Burgess in April 2024 and is also charged with attempted murder and a related offense for allegedly shooting American national Maya James, who survived a gunshot to the head. Come April, Main will finally stand before the court with a magistrate present, this time in Independence, as the case inches towards trial. Up next, police are taking crime fighting to a new height. Literally, how drones are becoming their newest eyes in the sky.
This weekend, the NEBL moves into week 2 with a fully loaded weekend of games. On Friday night, the Belmopan Trojans goes up against the San Pedro Tiger Sharks at the UB Gymnasium. Then on Saturday night, the Caye Western Ballers play host to the Belize City Defenders in a big home game at the Victor Galvez Stadium. The NEBL dancers will be performing live. And in Orange Walk, the Running Rebels look to defend their home court against the Dangriga Dream Ballers. Live performance by Yastalia. Giveaways all night. Plus, at the end of the first and third quarter, fans will get a chance to win cell phones, TVs, plus more. And at halftime, the big $5,000 cash Ministry of Tourism, Youth, Sports and Diaspora Relations Shooting Challenge. So this weekend, make your weekend an NEBL weekend sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet. All your building needs under one roof.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
Man, that's me. My data done, and I really need to get my order out today.
Really? Well, you can join our smart group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Because the public has a right to know. And once the public has a right to know, journalists have a duty to tell.
The public has a right to know how much money Jules Vasquez's station raked in from government advertising under the UDP administration. So we have a duty to tell. That figure went from $25,000 in 2008 to $195,000 in 2010 to $230,000 in 2011 to $269,000 in 2012 to $296,000 in 2013, $256,000 in 2014, $130,000 in 2015, $165,000 in 2016, $168,000 in 2017, $149,000 in 2018, and $186,000 in 2019. A total of more than $2 million in 10 years. Under the new administration since 2020, the figure went down to a reasonable $37,000. Is this why Jules is so enraged and losing his temper these days? It's all adding up.
Life is full of precious moments worth cherishing, moments that shape our present and lay the foundation for our future. But amidst life's beautiful tapestry, there are uncertainties we must confront. How do we secure today while protecting tomorrow? Introducing RF&G Life Insurance, your partner in safeguarding what matters most. With a RF&G Life Insurance plan, you can ensure financial security for your loved ones, providing them with a safety net for the future. From identifying and recommending plans suitable for your unique needs to expert advice every step of the way, RF&G Life Insurance is committed to protecting your family's legacy. Choose RF&G Life Insurance for peace of mind you can rely on. RF&G Life Insurance, securing today, protecting tomorrow. Your life, your legacy.
Mexico is trying to steady itself after a violent shockwave ripped through 20 states in the wake of cartel leader Nemesio El Mencho Ezeguera's death on Sunday. But the government's message of calm is colliding head-on with what people are seeing on the ground. President Claudia Sheinbaum insisted the country remained at peace, even as parents kept their children home because schools were closed. Travelers found flights in and out of Puerto Vallarta suspended, and security forces flooded Jalisco after coordinated cartel attacks killed 25 National Guard troops. Behind the scenes, officials revealed the dramatic operation that led to El Mencho's final hours. According to authorities, special forces zeroed in on the elusive kingpin by tailing his girlfriend to a secluded mountain hideout near Tapalpa. When troops moved in, gunmen unleashed heavy fire, forcing soldiers to fight their way through the compound. El Mencho initially escaped into the forest, but search teams later found him wounded. He and two of his bodyguards died aboard a helicopter as troops attempted to fly them to Morelia for treatment. Inside the hideout, soldiers recovered a cache of high-powered weapons, including rifles, rocket launchers, and grenades. Earlier today, News 5 spoke with Ambassador Oscar Arnold in Mexico City.
Yesterday, they carried out the operations. They surrounded the area where he was located. There was a firefight. He and four of his guards escaped into a wooded area, and that is where the firefight ended, where he was injured and captured. Subsequent to that, as has been the history, whenever a high-level narco boss or don has been arrested or captured in the past, there's always these spikes of violence, these outbursts of violence by his supporters and followers. And so that's what we saw yesterday in the areas of Jalisco, Michoacan, Guadalajara, Tamaulipas, Puerto Vallarta, which is in Jalisco, Nayarit. And I also think they mentioned northern sections of Yucatan, as well as some areas in Quintana Roo. We haven't been able to confirm in Quintana Roo, but on the federal highway in Veracruz as well, there were some blockages and some vehicles that were burnt.
Mexican officials projected confidence today, saying that the country is settling after days of cartel-linked chaos. No blockades, President Claudia Sheinbaum announced, even as thousands more troops moved into Jalisco to brace for a possible power struggle after El Mencho's death. New details also emerged about the raid that took him down. U.S. intelligence helped locate the cartel boss, but Mexico insists its own forces planned and carried out the operation. With the country on edge, Defense Secretary Ricardo Trevilla urged people to stay calm. Mexico has solid institutions. Trust your government. The fallout is reaching beyond Mexico's border. Belize has issued a travel advisory warning citizens to be cautious when passing through the country. We spoke with Ambassador Oscar Arnold for what Belizeans need to know now.
We have quite a few students who we've been in contact with since yesterday. We have quite a few students all over Mexico, and we've been reassuring them and letting them know that insofar as the official information that we have and also information that we gather from credible local media houses in these different states, that they should exercise some caution. They can attend school, go do their shopping and go back home, but try to stay off the street because you never know if there would be any individuals who would want to take advantage and say, oh, well, we're in support and this is why we're retaliating. We haven't seen it in Merida and in Quintana Roo as such. Another media house reported that the Plaza of the Americas and Walmart and Sam's were closing down yesterday. I've been in contact with our honorary consuls in Merida, in Yucatan, in Quintana Roo, in Chetumal, and in Veracruz. And the information that I have is directly from them on the ground. And they're saying that everything is safe. Yes, you have to proceed with some precautions if you're traveling the federal highways in some of the areas where there is some narco activity.
And tonight, Belize's ambassador says students and travelers in Mexico should stay alert, but go about their routines as officials on the ground report conditions remain calm in key states. If you look up in certain neighborhoods across Belize City today, you might spot something new in the sky. Police drones quietly sweeping over hotspots as part of a modern push to stay one step ahead of crime. It's all coming out of the department's Crime Fusion Unit, which is leaning heavily into technology to track suspects, respond faster, and build stronger cases. In fact, over the weekend, investigators credited surveillance tools for helping them move quickly on a shooting in the city. Now, drones and an expanded network of cameras are becoming key pieces of the police crime fighting playbook. Staff Officer Stacey Smith explains how it all works.
as Commissioner Rosado has stated on numerous occasions, the move of the department is to move towards a technologically sound department. We try as best to equip ourselves with the necessary technological skills and appliances that are able to assist us. We have secured quite a number, and those are what are being used, and as you indicated, they were helpful in last week's apprehension after a shooting incident, and the use of an eye in the sky provides more coverage than a person or a fleet of persons on the ground can.
Are these drones used not only in response to crime but as prevention as well? I noticed in the precinct 1 area there is always a drone at night.
Yes, as a part of our crime fighting strategy, our ultimate desire is to prevent crime, so when these drones are up or when the fusion center has their camera and they notice certain movements, that is when the officers who are out on patrol are indicated to take certain steps.
Police are leaning heavily on technology to stay ahead of criminals, using drones and expanded camera networks to monitor hotspot areas across Belize City, while officers on the ground continue to make tactical moves of their own. That strategy paid off last week when a GI3 team swept into the Frederick Alley area and uncovered 2 illegal firearms, leading to multiple weapons charges against 3 men. Here's more from Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith.
Police have formally arrested and jointly charged 35-year-old Tashane Williams of Tibru Street, 25-year-old Ernest McNabb of Aloe Vera Street, and 41-year-old Theodore Andrews of Fern Lane for the offense of kept firearm without a gun license, kept ammunition without a gun license, as well as kept prohibited firearm without a gun license and kept prohibited ammunition without a gun license. The arrest of these 3 individuals follows an operation that was conducted by GI3 personnel on Friday when these officers visited a property in the Frederick Alley area, which led to the discovery of 2 firearms, namely a .38 revolver and a .40 pistol, along with ammunitions.
Police say quick teamwork on the ground and a drone overhead helped them track down 2 men accused of pulling off a bold daytime robbery at the Western gas station in Corozal's Chula Vista area. Within minutes, officers had 20-year-old Jair Rancharan and 37-year-old Armando Villanueva in custody, along with the stolen cash and a loaded .38 revolver they believe was used in the holdup. Investigators are now looking closely at that weapon, which may tie the suspects to another robbery involving a security guard late last year. Today, police walked us through how the takedown unfolded.
It was reported that 2 male persons, one of whom was armed with a firearm, went to that establishment and, with the use of threat, demanded that the attendant handed over the proceeds of the day's sale. Being in fear, the attendant complied and the male persons made good their escape. This matter was reported to police, and police's response, including dispatching an investigative team at the scene of the incident with a view of reviewing the available footage, and it also included mobilizing a joint operational team, which was done with a view to cordoning the area and creating a dragnet. Based on the investigation and the use of drone, the police officers were able, some 1 hour after the incident, to apprehend these 2 male persons, Villanueva and Rancharan. And in Mr. Rancharan's possession, police found a .38 revolver, which also contained 6 live rounds of .38 caliber ammunition, whilst Mr. Villanueva was found in possession of items believed to be the proceeds of the robbery.
Police are crediting fast coordination and a drone in the air for helping them capture 2 suspects in the bold daytime robbery at Western Gas Station in Corozal. And even as that investigation moved quickly, officers in Belmopan were cracking down on the drug trade, launching an intelligence-cancelled operation in Las Flores that ended with 4 men facing multiple trafficking charges. Police say the intelligence-led operation was carried out on Girasol Street in the Las Flores area of Belmopan on February 18th. Officers reportedly discovered quantities of suspected cocaine and cannabis during the operation, resulting in several charges, including possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply. Here's more from Assistant Superintendent C.C. Smith.
Following a joint intelligence-led anti-drug operation that was conducted on Girasol Street in Las Flores area of Belmopan City on 18 February 2026 at approximately 2:40 p.m., police formally arrested and jointly charged Kenny Sosa, 23 years old, Deandre Lara, 20-year-old, Paulina Ortiz, 35 years old, and Milton Ortiz, also 25 years old, for 2 counts of possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply. The arrest of these individuals follows the discovery of 1.40 grams of suspected cocaine, as well as 120 grams of cannabis, which was found in the open in the immediate vicinity of these 4 male persons who were congregating in a yard on Girasol Street. Milton Ortiz was additionally charged with possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply after a search of a bag that belonged to him resulted in the discovery of 2 plastic bags containing suspected cocaine, which when weighed totaled 37.5 grams.
Coming up, tensions flare on Ambergris Caye as a land dispute takes a new turn with fresh pushback in the ongoing controversy. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. Love your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquit Equipment Parts Service.
Accountability isn't merely important for the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority. It's built into every single aspect of how the SARA will operate. SARA is designed with multiple layers of accountability to guarantee responsible and transparent management at every level. Annual comprehensive audits of all SARA operations, finances, and performance will be carried out, providing independent oversight and public reporting. SARA must provide detailed annual reports to Parliament, giving our policymakers complete visibility into operations, achievements, challenges, and financial management. Every dollar collected will flow directly to the government's Consolidated Revenue Fund, managed by the government of Belize, and will be reinvested in Belize's development. All procurement, spending, and financial management will follow public procurement procedures and public financial management rules, ensuring transparency and the efficient use of public funds. SARA, accountable by design.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Are you a forward-thinking farmer ready to adopt climate-smart practices? The future of farming is resilient, sustainable, and profitable, and we're here to help you achieve just that. Whether cultivating half an acre or 200 acres, DFC offers affordable financing options and a matching grant up to $12,000 for Window 1 and up to $60,000 for Window 2 to help make your farm climate smart, withstand unpredictable weather patterns, and adopt practices that enhance productivity and efficiency. This program is ideal for farmers and cooperatives. Women farmers are highly encouraged to take advantage. Join us in creating a resilient and sustainable agricultural future for Belize. Apply now and take the next step towards a stronger, greener tomorrow.
Need a fresh new kitchen, flip that switch ignition. G appliances shine. Every knob, every line, all align and turn the shower on. Feel gold, colder in the chrome. So bold from the ties to the tiny screws. We've got the wow you'll choose. All in one place, Design Depot. Everything you need for the life you want. Let's go. From the floor to the paint to the patio glow. Build it up, light it up. Watch your dream home grow. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place.
Design Depot, all in one place. Social media allegations are stirring fresh tension on San Pedro, prompting the mayor to push back and characterize the claims as an effort to undermine the council's work. He says the accusations, from business dealings to questions about employees holding second jobs, are not only misleading but aimed at distracting from what he insists is an ongoing process at the municipality. Today, he addressed the controversy head-on.
There has been some allegations, but I believe that this has been like a sabotage to my integrity from the UDP standpoint. all of these things that have been said on Facebook and on their page, it is all false allegations. So I don't know where they're coming from, but I know that they're trying to attack me more personally than try to figure out what is happening in the town council. Because in the town council, as the people can see, we have been working very hard throughout the two terms and
Last Wednesday, during an opposition press conference on Ambergris Caye, a heated land dispute took center stage. A resident stepped forward claiming that Area Representative Andre Perez stripped him of his chance to own a piece of land on the island. He says he was already following the proper process and even brought his paperwork to prove it, only to later learn that someone else had bought the property out from under him. Tonight, Perez is firing back. The Belize Rural South Area representative says the man and his wife are being disingenuous, insisting the family already owns land on the island and that he simply didn't see the need to approve a second parcel.
Minister Andre Perez me quitó mi terreno.
Minister Andre Perez took away my land where I have lived for 11 years, where my children have grown up. When I moved there, there was no street, and I have struggled a lot to get to where I am now. And it's not fair that today another person comes with another title. I have papers here showing that I started paying for everything. I paid $550 that had to be paid first. And then I applied for the purchase price. Here, I have another receipt showing a zero balance, and I applied for the purchase price. 2 months later, they told me it was already approved. On December 15th, some other person now has a title for it.
I want to refer to an issue about a gentleman who stood by the side stating that he was displaced. Let me be clear. And he showed documents. Yes, he showed documents. He did show documents. I do respect the young man. Actually, he works for the town council. He drives the bus that as the area representative, I provided a school bus for the children that live up north Ambergris. Part of my CDA funds, we bought a van to bring down the students, and he is the designated driver that is paid for by the town council. He represents the actual what people think that the government doesn't know. His wife had a piece of property. He didn't say he had a piece of property, but he was squatting on a piece of property next to his wife and saying that he got displaced. So I said, listen, the one beside your wife seems to be available. Let's proceed, and then I'll assist you to get that property for your wife, and then you can move your building on the land, and it's all over. So he agreed, and we did that process to get the title for his wife. So we were unbeknownst to us, we thought that everything was fine.
With each side holding firm to its account, the dispute is shedding new light on how land decisions are handled and shared with the public. Dredging on Ambergris Caye is kicking up more than sand tonight. It's stirring concerns about the island's future. During our visit last week, UDP caretaker Gabriel Zetina pointed us to several active dredging sites, warning that the work is reshaping the marine environment and putting wildlife at risk. He's questioning whether Area Representative Andre Perez is keeping a close enough eye on these operations to protect the industries the island depends on. But when we asked Perez about one major project we toured, he pushed back, saying the dredging is actually bringing benefits to the community.
Listen, that project has been ongoing, and they have gotten their clean licenses and everything. As per law, they got their licenses working along with the town council, because they did get sand from the council, got sand from the company. But it's a legitimate, done their studies, and I think by now they're about to be wrapping up. It's an area that is privately owned. It is not government-owned land that was acquired by anyone. Those lands has been privately owned, and the private owners bought it, and they did their work by dredging that specific area that actually was shallow. That eventually many boats there, especially water taxis, were having trouble. So basically, they was just clearing an area that is traversed by many vessels. So really and truly, I do not see in any way that should be any problems, but rather opening up the channel for more vessels to be able to move there without any kind of, because the waters over there are very shallow. So, it has its pros and cons, but in the end, that channel has been cleared up.
Can you divulge what their plans are?
I have no idea. I think that is something is going to be a development, for housing or condos, whatever. I have no idea, but it's private, so they decide what you want to do it.
Even as he defends the project and the clearing of shallow channels for marine traffic, Paris is also facing another challenge along Belize's coastline, the early arrival of sargassum. With coastal communities already seeing mats of seaweed drift ashore, the Ministry of Blue Economy is scrambling to deploy barriers, equipment, and long-term strategies to repurpose the invasive biomass, underscoring the mounting pressures on Belize's marine environment from multiple fronts.
It's always concerning, but we have been preparing. Especially, I did mention also when we had the Open Rise show is that we're planning out as a sargassum task force about getting the funding. The barriers are going to be installed. We're getting beach rigs, especially for Placencia. It's from all angles we're going to be working, and of course we have to get those up and running because they're being serviced right now. The harvesters. We are going to be getting equipment to receive the machinery in place. So it's all hands on deck. It's going to be a constant battle, but it's not something that we're sitting on our laurels, but we're planning that as the sargassum season comes in, we are prepared for it.
But realistically, how much people can you help? I mean, it appears as if given the amount of sargassum, you and your team will be overwhelmed.
We will, but it doesn't mean, well, that is where we have to talk about the long-term plans, whereby we are engaging with companies who are able to come in and convert that material into energy. That is also a long-term process, but it's also in discussions as to get the sargassum and at the same time trash to convert into energy, and that is something that is going to be a long-term project. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that sargassum is here to stay with us, so we need to work along with it. We don't have the answers this year, but certainly in the next 3, 4, 5 years, there's going to be a plan that we are able to harness the sargassum and trash to turn it into energy, waste to energy.
Dredging concerns and the early arrival of sargassum are already demanding Andre Paris's attention along Belize's coastline, but he's also steering another major development on Ambergris Caye, a multi-million-dollar international airport. As the Ministry of Blue Economy rushes to deploy barriers and long-term strategies to manage the seasonal seaweed influx, Paris is simultaneously championing plans for a new northern air facility, one he says will attract high-end private jet travelers and generate significant revenue for the island. With funding, land, and design work already secured, the project marks a sharp pivot from coastal pressures to ambitious infrastructure expansion.
It is going to happen, that's for sure. In the next less than 3 or 4 years, they're going to start to develop this new international airport that is going to be catering not only for Ambergris Caye, but I did mention at the very beginning we're talking about fixed base operations, which is very important. And I did mention as well, highlighting how the Bahamas, how they really do benefit from this fixed base operations, whereby they have a lot of private aircrafts. These well-to-do, wealthy families who like to travel for convenience, to travel to the places where they want to land quickly and want to reach their condos. So we believe that providing that industry in San Pedro and having these private aircrafts come to San Pedro in the next 15-20 minutes, they clear customs, immigration, Baja, and the next 15-20 minutes, they're right there in their condo. And then the service of these aircrafts being staying there for security reasons, there's a cost to stay every day. But these people don't mind. They're willing to pay for every day to leave their private aircrafts on that airport, and there's a fee for it. So there's money to be made. In that context, I believe that the international airport can do that. At the same time, also, it will design for the local airlines that they will have to bring in larger aircrafts, because as you know, the PGIA is actually the busiest airport in the entire Central America. So what that means that they have more landings and taking offs than any other airport. But that's a fact. But the reason is because you have Tropicana having 14 passengers taking off and landing, but it adds. So eventually they will have to look at perhaps these aircrafts that they call ATRs that handle 40 passengers or so. So in one trip from San Pedro, from PGA to San Pedro, we're talking about 40 passengers in one flight, as opposed to one flight that goes to 14 passengers. The current runway that we have in San Pedro cannot handle that kind of airship. So it's about getting bigger flights and becoming more efficient.
How far along are we with the process? Have we secured land funding and material perhaps already for it?
Well, in terms of the funding that has been secured, remember the development that was going to be for the airport, for the roads, for the infrastructure, lights, the sewer system as well, water in that place there, the funding has been secured. The land has been secured as well. That is going to be working along with the social security lands. The land has been identified. The design has been made already that has met the standards of what IDB has accepted, and they liked it very much. So we're talking about, I believe it's a 7,000, 8,000 feet runway. So very much it's on there. I believe in the next 2-3 years the development is going to be happening.
Pedro says he's moving full speed ahead on the new Ambergris Caye airport, with everything already lined up to start construction in the next few years. What started as a routine update on Caye Caulker's road woes has now sparked a full-blown public rejection of Area Representative Andre Perez. Last week, Perez told News 5 that one idea on the table is a swap, sending white marl from Ambergris Caye to Caye Caulker in exchange for sand, a resource the island has in short supply. But tonight, the Caye Caulker Village Council is shutting the door on that proposal. Council leaders say Caye Caulker's sand isn't up for trade. It's a limited natural asset they want protected for residents and future development. They also argue San Pedro's struggle with white marl are a red flag, pointing out that when the weather turns wet, those marlified roads turn to mush and become nearly useless. And there's more. The council says any dredging tied to this exchange could harm fishermen who rely on nearby traditional fishing grounds. They insist no agreement was ever reached despite discussions with Perez, and residents echoed that stance at a recent public meeting. Tonight, the village council is drawing a clear line: protect the island's resources, put the community first, and leave Caye Caulker's sand where it is. And they're calling on the area representative to respect that decision. Ahead, sharp criticism over U.S. pressure on Cuba sparks fresh debate in the region, why the comments are drawing attention now.
Because the public has a right to know. And once the public has a right to know, journalists have a duty to tell.
The public has a right to know how much money Jules Vasquez's station raked in from government advertising under the UDP administration. So we have a duty to tell. That figure went from 25,000 in 2008 to 195,000 in 2010 to 230,000 in 2011 to 269,000 in 2012 to 296,000 in 2013, 256,000 in 2014, 130,000 in 2015, 165,000 in 2016, 168,000 in 2017, 149,000 in 2018, and 186,000 in 2019. A total of more than 2 million in 10 years. Under the new administration since 2020, the figure went down to a reasonable 37,000. Is this why Jules is so enraged and losing his temper these days? It's all adding up.
Registering a child's birth is a vital step for parents and guardians, and now it's easier than ever. With the new Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS, you can register online or at any Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit office near you. Who can register a birth? Married parents. Either of you can register. Just bring your marriage certificate. Single mothers. You can register alone as long as the father's name isn't being added to the birth certificate. Unmarried parents. Either parent can register with a signed consent form from the other. Download the consent form from the VSU website. It's quick and easy. Required documents. For all birth registrations, you'll need a copy of your ID. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz today to register your child's birth.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tomorrow morning on Open Your Eyes, we're diving into the hot topics everyone's talking about. First up, the controversy surrounding the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge route change. Some paddlers say the changes affect the competitive integrity of the race, and plenty Belizeans are asking, if in a brook, why fix it? Then, as excitement builds for Barren Bliss Day, we sit down with the Harbor Regatta Committee to talk all things regatta, tradition, competition, and what spectators can expect on the water. Plus, Community Spotlight, the Orange Walk Brotherhood and Sisterhood Ballads Youth Basketball Club joins us to share how they're shaping young athletes on and off the court. And we close things off with SMART, bringing people together. It's buzzing news, information, inspiration, and insight. All on Open Your Eyes. Start your morning right.
Tuesday's virtual Senate session, expected to be uneventful, has now stirred unexpected controversy. Independent senators, fed up with another online session, announced they would log in from inside the National Assembly chamber itself, arguing that unless there's a true emergency, the Senate should be meeting in the newly renovated multi-million-dollar building, not on a computer screen. But just as they prepared to make their point, the meeting was abruptly cancelled. And according to Church Senator Louis Wade, the decision blindsided the independents, leaving them questioning whether the cancellation was logistical or strategic.
For me personally, I live in Belmopan, just a stone's throw from the newly renovated $5 million National Assembly, which really is where special meetings and regular meetings are to be held for the Senate. Virtual meetings, we've done one, and I believe it was done so that we could test the system, know that it works, ensure that in cases of emergency, national emergencies, weather emergencies, etc., that the Senate is still able to meet and do its work. But that is not the purpose, I believe, for virtual. And so if we're going to have ordinary meetings where we discuss the people's business, then it must be done in the optimum lighting, optimum sound, optimum space that was designated for that. So that's my personal opinion. So I live in Belmopan. The three other independent senators, when I checked with them, they would have been in Belmopan. And so we simply said, okay, well, let us make a request to the clerk of the National Assembly, because that's the protocol, that we could still use the chamber. So we would have still done our virtual from the chamber. And we got an approval. And so for us it was, okay, so let's meet together there. And so the cancellation, and I don't know what's happening in the background, but it came as a surprise.
The standoff has now added fresh fuel to an ongoing debate about transparency, accountability, and whether virtual sittings could still be the norm when Senate business can safely return to the chamber. Cuba is facing a growing crisis, and according to U.S. President Donald Trump, the Cuban government is failing. This comes after increased pressure from the Trump administration. Shortly after U.S. forces captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in January, President Donald Trump shifted focus to Cuba, declaring a national emergency and calling the Cuban government an unusual and extraordinary threat for allegedly hosting Russian spies and welcoming groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. U.S. sanctions have blocked oil shipments to Cuba, worsening energy shortages on the island. Earlier this month, Prime Minister John Briceño said the government stands in full solidarity with the Cuban people, adding that reduced oil supplies could trigger a manufactured humanitarian disaster in the country. Echoing the PM's sentiment today is Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs Assad Shuman. Shuman says if the U.S. succeeds in its mission, people in Cuba will die.
The whole purpose of their threats against Cuba, their sanctions, so-called sanctions, because it's not a sanction, it's an evil act that is done to people, because sanctions supposes you're sanctioned because you did something wrong. No, they haven't done anything wrong. They're just being punished by the United States unduly, irrationally, and illegally. Why? All of that is done in order to make the people suffer so much that they will overthrow their government. So the purpose is clearly to make the people suffer. But they want them to suffer so much that they will overthrow their government. That's terrorism, absolutely, under any kind of definition. So that is a policy that they have continued. That is a policy that has been condemned by the United Nations, I believe, over 30 times in the last few years. It started in the 1990s, the UN resolution. So that has been condemned by the United Nations many times. All their European allies, of course. Britain, everybody condemns it. So if that is to be condemned, what do you think of this now, this additional thing which amounts to a death threat, Ippolito? That is what the United States is doing now. Just issued a death threat against Cuba, against the people of Cuba. That is a death threat. If that succeeds, and obviously they want it to succeed, people in Cuba will die.
Do you think that the U.S. President Donald Trump is wrong when he says that Cuba is a threat?
He's absolutely wrong. There's no question about that. Or that Cuba is a terrorist state or anything like that. I mean, these are things that are made up. In fact, I have something here from the UN experts. You know, a panel of UN experts on human rights issued a declaration on the 12th of February, right? When they say that characterizing Cuba as an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security of the US, etc., lacks credibility and appears designed to justify the use of extraordinary and coercive powers. There is no shred of evidence that they even tried to present the United States to show that Cuba is a terrorist state as it claims.
Trump's order threatened heavy tariffs on countries that continue to send oil to Cuba. With U.S. sanctions already cutting off Venezuelan oil, the warning was aimed at Cuba's other key supplier, Mexico, putting Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum in a tough spot between supporting Cuba and responding to U.S. pressure. Mexico has sent humanitarian aid, and Canada is considering doing the same. So what about Belize and CARICOM? The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in the Caribbean to meet with leaders during CARICOM's 50th Head of Government. Schuman says regional leaders will be too scared to condemn the U.S.
They have no right to do this. This is illegal. It has been condemned by the United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations. And the reaction has been, in Belize, our Prime Minister called it out. Remember at the House meeting when the President of Guyana was there, and he said that was wrong. Our leader of the opposition has condemned the treaty. I don't know if you carried her thing that she gave out a week or so. And today I noticed she put another post because she realized this thing is getting out of hand. The leaders of the Caribbean remain silent. And not only that, they invite one of the architects of this murderous criminal policy to come to the 50th anniversary, 50th meeting of the heads of government of CARICOM and address them.
Mexico halted its shipment of oil to Cuba. It did, however, send humanitarian aid. I believe Canada is thinking about sending humanitarian aid. Should Belize?
Absolutely. I am hoping, against hope, because, as I said, they have been silent. Except, well, Briceño was not silent. I think he's the only one that has spoken up, the only actual leader that I know of that has spoken out against what's happening in Cuba today. But former leaders have done so. Obviously, I don't expect the CARICOM to make any statement condemning the United States for this, right? They're all afraid. But let us hope that the least they will do is do what you just suggested, send a shipment of humanitarian aid to Cuba, man. People are dying, people are suffering, people that are our brothers and sisters, they're part of our region. They have been an intimate part of our development as individual countries all along.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Schuman says his comments on this issue is as a private citizen and not as an agent or representative of the government of Belize. Still ahead on Sports Monday, opening weekend in the NEBL brought heartbreak for some and big surprises for others. We'll break down the upsets and the standouts.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa. And for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal. Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno. Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
In the heart of the Caye district, Caye Caulker is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Caye Caulker wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Caye Caulker to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Crossed borders in Central America, searching for the stories behind the places we think we know. I'm Sabrina Daly, traveling as a Belizean, curious about the culture, the people, and the experiences that make each destination stand out. From the spirited landscapes of Honduras to the evolving heartbeat of El Salvador.
Go pupusas!
This journey explores what it really feels like to travel our region. This is Across Borders.
My data and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our smart group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business,
we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Good evening, I am Paul Lopez with this week's installment of Sports Monday. The National Elite Basketball League is back and Week 1 games are already revealing some power shifts across the league. Opening night in Belize City saw 2 matches. In the first match, the San Pedro Tiger Sharks had home court advantage against the Caye Western Ballers. The Tiger Sharks secured their first W of the season, defeating the Western Ballers 91-85 points. And in the second game of the night, the highly anticipated matchup between the Belize City Defenders and the Orange Walk Running Rebels left Defenders fans underwhelmed and wanting more. Running Rebels fans, on the other hand, liked everything they saw with this new team. The Orange Walk Running Rebels ran over Defenders, leaving them looking as defeated as some soggy Orange Walk tacos. That one ended with 82 points for the Running Rebels and 65 points for the Belize City Defenders. On Saturday night, the attention switched over to the capital city for the Belmopan Trojans and Corozal Spartans season debut. After 4 quarters of thrilling basketball, Belmopan Trojans successfully defended home court, defeating the Spartans by 6 points, in a game that ended 80-74. This coming weekend, Belmopan will host the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, Caye Western Ballers will host the Defenders, and Orange Walk Running Rebels will host the Easy Investment Dream Ballers. And from basketball, we move into some cycling action. Yes, we're talking about the 4th annual Alfred Parks Memorial Race. 95 miles of racing from Cotton Tree to Santa Elena, then all the way back to Belize City. Well, we were at the finish line in front of Lessons Import on the George Price Highway when a group of riders made the turn towards the finish and began to sprint for the grand prize. Head down, unleashing all ounce of energy left. 2-time champion Jivin Gonzalez finished in first place, securing his 3rd consecutive victory. Herberto Gutierrez followed closely behind to secure the 2nd place prize. Tariq Flowers finished in 3rd place, while David Castano rounded off the top 4. Here's a brief word from the 3-time Alfred Parks Memorial Race champion, Jivin Gonzalez.
First and foremost, thank God first. You know, through Christ, enough to pull off this victory today. Sorry. Honestly, we started doing this today. I never had my best legs at all. You know, I just really made a try play it smart.
From the nation's highways, we take you to Sandhill Village, where the Belize Softball Federation is hosting its inter-office tournament. The 2026 season officially got underway on Friday night with a doubleheader. In the first match, BNB Brewers took on Maritime Enforcers in a 5-inning game that ended in a complete blowout. BNB Brewers won the match with 27 runs to their opponents' 5 runs. It is safe to say that the Brewers is among the top teams to watch this season after Friday night's performance. And finally for tonight, following a thrilling weekend of volleyball in the Under-21 National Volleyball Tournament, 2 teams rose to the top. In the male category, EA Junior Warriors secured the gold medal, continuing a dominant run in the discipline. And in the female category, Lady Jaguars took home gold, reminding fans why they are a force to be reckoned with. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Jamie Rock. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.